How y'all doing? It's the Composer K Hood back with another Green Game Reviews. The games that you can roll up and smoke to. And this one here is a treat. The first three were warm-ups, but this review is the reason why I started a site like this. These niche games, these underground games that not as many people know about, but you need to know about. I would say that this game, Riders Republic, is a mixture between Mario Kart and Tony Hawk, the best aspects being Mario Kart. Now, the difference between this game is you can choose anything to race with. They have skis, snowboards, BMX, mountain bikes, wingsuits, jetpacks, etc., and they find a way to balance these out and make it fun. As I stated, it has a little bit of Tony Hawk in it. You can do a lot of BMXing, tricks, and things like that with all the different vehicles. But the best part to me is these 64 versus all mass races down these crazy landscapes that they have. The game's world is just a big open world of like a park with mountains and things like that. And it gets pretty crazy. I could not speak more highly of this game. As I state, like if you go to GameStop and ask an employee about it, they'll know about it. But if you ask your friend or somebody who regularly games, they don't know about this game. So I feel it's extremely important to gamers, more important to smokers to know about this, get on it, and when the next game comes out, make it a crazy release because it deserves to be. Riders Republic, here we go. Let's not waste any more time. So as I mentioned in the previews, the first thing that's really worth mentioning to talk about would be all the different vehicles that you are allowed to cop in this game. And instead of trying to say them all again, let's just look at them. I'll go through them for you. Pretty crazy, right? Each of them have different specials. Like on a bike, you can speed up, wingsuit, different ways to go faster, different ways to do tricks. Now take a look at this huge map. All those little white dots are people playing at the time, and that's the entire map. Mountains, everything, all those different worlds you could play in is pretty freaking crazy. Especially for a game that people don't know about. Look at how many people are actually in on that boy. So here we got some action. This is my favorite mode, the 64 all. It gets a little hectic. It can be a little goofy, but the goofiness is freaking hilarious. Since the game came out, it's a lot less goofy. Some things will happen. Good advice is to stay behind the pack until things kind of clear up because you're just going to keep getting bumped. But it is fun hecticness. There are other modes too. There's a story mode where you can get more vehicles and things like that. It's pretty cool, but I hate missions that are based off of like time trials and things that you have to grab. The time trials aren't too bad. I hate things that are like, do 3 backflips to get this star, or you have to collect somewhat collectible to move on, and I don't really mess with that. That might be for some people, but in general it is fun to do these because there's enough of a progression that you do unlock new areas and new things. However, it would be more fun if the goals were like most games where it's just like win and you can progress. There's also something called Zen mode where you can go through all this stuff non-competitively, go through the lakes, the oceans, the mountains, do flips, and just practice, which is pretty cool, especially when you have a dope soundtrack like this game does. You got freaking classical music, you got rock music, you have everything, and like, I didn't know how much fun it would be, and how relaxing it would be, and how zen, pun intended, it would be to hear classical music racing down a hill and doing these type of races. It kind of puts you in a zone, and you see how hectic this is. Sometimes you need that study music to slow down a little bit and gather all the scenery and make sure you don't crash into a tree. Now, as I explained before, it is mildly glitchy, but it doesn't ruin the fun. It just makes it goofy. There's been very few rare times, I'd say in every 10 playthroughs, there might be one time that I wind up off path because of just bumping into people. and it is mildly frustrating, but like when you step into this game and play it for yourself, you're willing to let a few things go when you see how crazy it is, especially if you grew up playing games like 2 Extreme. It's the first game I've seen since something like that. If you were a fan of Steep, this is the successor to Steep. It's made by the same company. But I believe Steep was like 1 or 2 different types of vehicles, and this is bringing in bikes and all sorts of other stuff. Now you can see that these graphics look kind of PS4 early-ish. Reminds me kind of like Call of Duty Warzone, where it's like, man, this game is freaking huge, and I understand why the graphics are a little subpar so they could get this thing right. Now, like, it does not affect you while you race in any way, shape, or form, but when you actually look at the characters, they don't look that cool. The simplicity in buttons is another thing that really pushes this game forward to me. You have, like, stop, go, and speed up, basically. Now, on top of that, you can do tricks to get points. They have a trick mode there you can just do tricks to get points, and they also have a mode where it's like 6v6 if you want something less hectic. The tricks are pretty cool. It's not something that I go for since I'm like a huge Tony Hawk fan. I usually stick to that when I'm trying to do tricks, but they are pretty cool to pull off when you have the time, and they do give you higher scores if you're able to pull off the trick. So that is a good gameplay incentive. Now to rate this game, the story mode is decent. As I said, I don't like some of the progression, but it's easy enough to progress without getting all the stats. You just can't progress fast enough. The visuals are good enough, the audio is dope, and the gameplay is dope, and the value for money is incredible because nobody knows about the game. But for some reason, like I said, there's a million people on that map like you saw, and anytime that the big events go down, I'm able to find one. I think part of the reason is they only do these every 30 minutes, which is really cool if you're a gamer or if you're a worker. And like me, I like to game at like 15 minutes, 30-minute intervals at a time. So if I'm studying, I can study for that 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then jump in and get a quick break and play this game on the hour or on the half an hour and get into one of those matches. Now, as far as a game, now I would give this game a 4.5 out of 5 because the graphics and some of the story things, and it's just not fully polished, but it's damn near close to a 5. It's way closer to a 5 than a 4 if you are into these type of games. Now for a green rating, this is a 5. You gotta roll up and play this. It's just the perfect game to smoke and play. Low buttons, high fun, and a little bit of dashes from games that are known to get it popping when you're about to roll something up. I would say there's one other thing that hurts this game is that it takes a damn hour to get to the online point, which it does bless as a tutorial, but man, I have a hard time getting my friends to play this because of that. So they need to clean that up for sure, let people jump online a lot quicker. But other than that, man, 5 out of 5. Doesn't have to be perfect, just damn near perfect. Roll up to this. Thank me later. K-Hood, the composer, out.
Nice! Final switch gate reached! There's not long left to go after a respectable finish. Do it! Awesome! We have a winner!